Hello, hello. I'm Strider, your host here at Author in the Headlights, and I want to thank you for joining us. And as always, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and you won't miss a single one of our episodes. And honestly, they're fun or entertaining, and it's a good way to spend some time in your day. Today we've got Penelope Wright. Good morning, Penelope.
Good morning, Strider.
Hey, I was pretty wowed when I had looked at your reviews and your books. And first off, what genre do you write? And I know it can be, there's a little back and forth sometimes.
Right. Yeah, sometimes things cross genres a little bit, but I've decided that I am a dystopian science fiction author. My books have light romantic elements and they have some coming of age themes, but if you really have to boil it down to what is this? Dystopian sci-fi.
All right. Hey, now that is a subgenre of things, and that's a lot of how we work. My own writing tends to be very genre crossing. So hey, let's start out with your The Queen's Trials.
It
And
is,
it's
yeah.
got what, eight different volumes? The
Mhm.
Queen's Trials, The Wishing Round, of Stone and Steel, The Forever War, All That Glitters, Verge of Eternity, and there's one more.
Oh, two more. There's Kingdom of Lies and Crown of Rust and Ruin.
There you go.
Mhm.
Okay, there goes my memory. It's shot, but that's
Well,
not
that's a
bad for a
really
start.
good memory. Yeah.
Okay, tell us about that storyline. What's it about?
It's kind of like if you enjoy the Hunger Games and you enjoy the selection, you like those competition to the death stories, but with a royalty twist, it sort of merges those two. I enjoyed both of those series, and I thought to myself, well, what if they were kind of in the same book? So it starts out in the localities where things are really people are really downtrodden because they are not the important people in the kingdom of Rustonia. But we have our main character Cleo who has she attacks a guard and she will be executed for that. I mean, there's just no question. Um, but as she is contemplating, how do I run away? How do I get out of here when we're trapped? The bells go off and everyone is called up from the mines because a new queen trials has opened. King Urgundy's last of six wives has died and he needs six more. King Urgundy rolls through wives pretty quickly. And Cleo says, well, I never ever wanted to join the Queen Trials. This is not something I'm interested in, but I can either die now within a day or so because of what I did to this guard, or I can try and join the Queen Trials and maybe extend my life a little bit, perhaps open up some different opportunities for escape. So that is what happens, and the adventure begins from there.
It makes a good story, I tell you.
It makes a good story. Now, King Urgundy is not a good guy. He's not somebody who she's going to be like, "Oh, he's just misunderstood." He's not somebody you want to marry. But it buys
Is
her
it better
time.
than death? Yeah.
It's better than instant death.
And well, if you're
Right.
gonna
His
die, you
wives
might as well
always
be.
die. Right. But yeah, so and over time she starts to figure out, hey, maybe I can do a little more with this than just escape my own circumstances. Maybe I'm meant to do something here.
Okay. Now let's shift to another set, The Collapse. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what, five, six books,
Six books. Yep.
six books. Time Bomb,
Mm-hmm.
Paradox Rising.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, Fade to Black. I know that's in there. That's not the
Yeah,
next
that
one.
is that is
Okay, give you tell the
Doomsday
list.
Clock. Yeah, so Doomsday Clock's number three, 5 minutes to midnight is four, Fade to Black is number five, and the sixth is Conundrum.
Conundrum. How could I forget that? So
Series.
what is that series about?
It's time travel. It's also, a dystopian sci-fi, but it's got elements of post-apocalyptic. It's time travel. It opens up in the year 2076. The world has flooded. Antarctica flash melted overnight, and sea levels rose 100 feet. So the people who are still alive are the descendants of those people who happened to just be on the top floors of downtown Seattle skyscrapers when the waters rose, and they have figured out how to survive growing food. Yeah. The one scientific advance they have conquered is time travel, and very few people know about it. It's this closely guarded secret because, dangerous, right? So the teenage daughter of the president of the United Towers is one of the only time travelers, and she goes back in time to get things like tetanus boosters and multivitamins and contact lenses and, things that can help her people. She's stealing from the dead. She doesn't think that these people in the past, well, they're meaningless to her. They know they can't
Already
go
been,
back,
yeah. Yeah.
right, and change anything, but they can take things to help them in their lives now. But anyway, a time travel event goes really, really wrong, and she ends up stuck in the past with no memory other than something really bad is coming, and I don't know what it is.
Hey, that sounds interesting. It really
I
does.
love the way it turned out.
All right, now we go to another series, the Scavenger Princess.
The
And that
first,
one, I
yeah.
like that. That one, that's really cool. Okay, tell us the Scavenger Princess and the Enchanted Ring. That's a two-for set there, right?
Yeah, yeah, so far. So the Scavenger Princess came out last month. Abra Beach Glass is a refugee from Ascension Island, but Abra has the good fortune, misfortune, of showing up in the right place at the right time because the king's daughter, Princess Diana, has just been assassinated, but nobody knows, and Abra looks an awful lot like her. So he slides her into that role so she can go, fulfill all of his plans for her.
Because you have another series that you started, The Prince of Ash.
hmm
Born of Ash and Fury is actually the name, right?
I love that book, and there will be at least a book two. It
You've got
will
some other singles too.
be.
Say My Name. Now that's a whole different kind of thing.
And Caution to the Wind is another kind of standalone coming of age YA story. Sometimes I just get an idea for something that I really, really want to write. And I say to myself, wow, this does not fit in at all, but I'm going to write it.
Okay, that's your books. And those
Mhm.
are what you write for to produce those books. Now we're going to go to the writing end of the deal instead of the marketing or the reader end. Um, so on the writer's end, that's a lot of books. You've
Yeah.
got to have a process that you use to get that many books completed. And gosh, I don't even know how many it is, 16 or something.
I don't know.
I
I,
don't,
I,
yeah,
I also have to
actually
go.
didn't count them, but
Right. Yeah. Does the box set count as a book? I don't know.
exactly. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yes, I do. I do have a process. I didn't used to when I was first writing and I had my agent and, publisher and all that stuff. I just kind of wrote when I felt like it, but in the last, I'd say 4 to 5 years, I've really kind of focused in on what works for me. And that is to write 600 words a day, every day. When I was writing the Queen Trials, I wrote 600 words every day 7 days a week for 3 years. I took 1 week off, I think in
Oh,
2022.
shame on you.
I know. But I was really like I got knocked out of my rhythm and I was like, wow, I don't remember what's happening. When I write 600 words a day, something always happens. I make sure that something interesting happens in that 6 words. So when people review the books, they say, wow, it's really fast paced. And I'm like, well, that's right, because something happens every 600 words. Because I wrote, 600 words yesterday where something had to happen. And today I wrote another 600 words where something had to happen. Occasionally I would pop up to maybe 800 words just to really finish a thought, or if I felt like I'm coming to a chapter end. 600 words is something that I can do every day. And sometimes it's a little bit of a stretch, but most of the time it's not. But I can always achieve it. If I do that, if I have a 90,000 word book, I have a new book every 150 days. Scavenger Princess was about 75,000 words. And I like to keep books in my series at approximately the same,
Hmm.
thickness, if you
Hmm.
will. So a 75,000 word book as opposed to a 90,000 word book, the math is it's probably 120 days. I don't know. But that way I can really plan, like, when is my next book going to be out?
Yeah.
When should I book the cover? I indie publish now. I'm out of the traditional publishing game, and I what works for me is indie. I love it. And so, so I can really, like know when my next book is going to be ready. So I can book my editor. I can contact my cover designer and say, hey, I'm going to need, this, and this by this date. Does that work for you? I record my own audiobooks, and that's a process.
That
Steep learning
helps.
curve, but I love it. I love it now. I didn't love it
Yeah.
in the beginning.
Yeah.
I love it now. Um, so, you have to get all the pieces slotted in to when it's going to work for you. Knowing how many words I'm going to write every day and how many words my book is basically going to be is really helpful to me to actually get them done and then to be able to fit in all the pieces that come with being an indie author, all the things you have to do on your own.
Okay. Now, for those writers, and we have both traditionally published and indie, and as you say, the hybrid of both, um, how does the expense version work indie-wise versus traditionally published for you? You've done both.
Mhm.
So one comes out of pocket, and when you're indie, everything comes out of pocket until it comes back. But how does that happen then with the traditional for you? Did you still have out of pocket that you had to do, or did they cover all of that? Things like edits. I know how much line edits cost, and I know how much all these things are. So how does that work for you? How did that work?
Well, my traditional publishing experience was close to 10 years ago, but they, they did edits and they designed the cover, and of course I didn't pay for any of that.
Hmm.
I got no advance, and I would get every 6-month royalty checks. I think my biggest one was somewhere close to $15 for 6 months. And the payment model in traditional publishing is the author gets 15% and then they split that with their agent. So they ultimately come away with 7.5%. So nobody was really making any money on that book. In the indie realm, I purchase my own cover and I contract my own editing. I have formatting software which I bought one time and I use it over and over and over again. I absolutely love it. It works so well. And other sunk costs, editor cover. I probably spend about 750, $800 on, expenses.
Production costs, yeah.
Production costs, thank you. But I keep 70% of my royalties. I'm Amazon exclusive for my ebooks, so I'm part of the Kindle Unlimited program, and
Hmm.
that's an amazing program for authors. If your readers are reading in Kindle Unlimited, you can do quite well there. So,
I agree.
um, yeah. So now, I can actually pay a bill or two with my
That's
royalties.
important when we,
It
we,
it
we
is.
write because we love it, but we also have hopes of it paying itself off, if not more.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I would write regardless because I find it mentally soothing. But the fact that I can also, make money doing something that I love, well, isn't that kind of the goal?
Now, I also notice you have German translations.
Oh,
How
yes, I
did that
do.
come about?
Well, I'm using a software called Scribe Shadow. Put one of my books through there. I put it out in Germany and people started downloading it and people started giving it good reviews. And I thought to myself, whew, because I do not speak or read German. So
That's awesome stuff. And it's good stuff for writers to know,
I think
as
so
authors.
too,
The
right?
things,
Like,
whether you use the method or not, you see how people do things. You say, oh, I can do a little this, a little this. It's how we
mhm,
work. And
yeah,
it's important to see other methods and options that you may or
right.
may not be using.
Exactly. And I've been told by people who are far better at this than me that, you write the book one time, but then you sell it in multiple formats. So, have
Absolutely.
audio,
Well, we
have
do that.
large
We've
print,
you've got
have
the ebook
translation.
version, you've got the paperback
Exactly.
version, you may have the hard copy version, you've got the audio version, you've got
Hmm.
all these different things, and therefore you have different ways of reaching people. Not
Yeah,
everybody holds a book in their hand. They've got
right.
their Kindle or their all these different tools they use, and I say great. Then
Yes,
let's use it too.
agreed.
Okay, Penelope, we're going to have to cut this short because we have run out of time. I want to thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
And I want to say your books will be available through DermanPublishing.com's bookstore, but they're also linked below. Go ahead and look down there and click right to them. So hopefully you'll find people that love your books, and others certainly have. You've got tons of reviews that say so.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This has been wonderful.
You betcha. And for the rest of you out there, thank you for listening to us here at Author in the Headlights, sponsored by DermanPublishing.com. And until next time.